I now request Mr. Bharat N. Doshi, trustee of the Lalit Doshi Memorial Foundation, to introduce to us our speaker today, Mr. Vikram Singh Mehta. Sir.
Good evening, friends. It is my privilege and honor this evening to introduce Mr. Vikram Singh Mehta on the occasion of the 28th Lalit Doshi Memorial Lecture. One more star will join in the galaxy of speakers who have delivered the previous 27 lectures. I have known Mr. Vikram Mehta for many years, and at one stage, we were colleagues on the board of Mahindra & Mahindra Limited. Since then, we have remained friends, and of recently, we came closer to each other over several lunches in the context of today's lecture, but more in the context of my desire to learn more and more about him beyond the biodata which is published in the invitation card. Vikram, therefore, with your permission, I will take the liberty to switch between Vikram Singh Mehta and Vikram, as may be appropriate as I go forward. Vikram, I was hoping that your wife, Tasnim Zakaria Mehta, reputed in her own right and well known for her immense contribution as honorary director of Dr. Baudaji Lad Museum, would have been present here today. Unfortunately, prior commitments have kept her away, but I am pleased that Vikram's young entrepreneur daughter, Ahilya, is present here with us. At this stage, I would like to mention that in January 1994, when Lalit passed away, Tasnim's father, Dr. Rafiq Zakaria, then a cabinet minister in Maharashtra, was the first to pay his homage to Lalit in a letter to the editor of Times of India. An extract from the letter is published in the brochure distributed today, so I won't repeat it. But I must mention that while the news spread, this was a very personal note which came as a letter to the editor. And what I would say, while we were all in sorrow, we were comforted with the words in that note. Vikram comes from a family with a tradition of government service. His grandfather, Mohan Singh Mehta, was the Diwan of the princely state of Udaipur, and later he served as India's High Commissioner to Pakistan, and was also a member of the Constituent Assembly. Vikram's father, Jagat Singh Mehta, retired as a foreign secretary, and we already heard from Mr. Vijay Nambiar, Ambassador Vijay Nambiar, about his interaction with your father. And Vikram's mother, Mrs. Rama Mehta, was the first woman in the Indian Foreign Service, but she had to quit due to the then rigid government rule of not allowing spouses to serve IFS together. Mr. Vikram Singh Mehta graduated with honors degree in mathematics from St. Stephen's College, Delhi University. Subsequently, he obtained dual post-graduation degrees in economics and particularly energy economics from Magdalen College, Oxford University, followed by Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. His postgraduate thesis was on oil and barter trade in the aftermath of the first oil crisis in the 70s. I came across some interesting stories about Vikram and his Oxford mates, Imran Khan, Benazir Bhutto, but those will have to wait for some other day, Vikram. Vikram qualified in the civil services examination and was eligible for the IFS, but chose to stay back and served as an IAS probationer for 19 months till he had a sudden change of thought about his career perspective and decided to quit the IAS. He joined Phillips Petroleum in London as their senior economist, and he has been an oil man ever since, whether outside or inside the government. The passion for public service flowing in his blood led Vikram to return to India in 1984 to join the public sector oil company Oil India Limited and the Ministry of Petroleum as its advisor strategic planning. He resigned from Oil India in 1988 and joined Shell International in London. In 1991, he was posted as the managing director for Shell Markets in Egypt. The year 1994, when Vikram was asked to head Shell's India operations, it was a very interesting time for India. Economic reforms meant that the market was more dynamic and the global energy giant's entry was widely seen as a game changer. While heading Shell India, an arm of the multinational, Vikram was still invited to join various committees of the government to shape national energy policy. And I heard from many sources, Vikram, that you were always very objective, wanted a fair and effective policy, and you were not somebody who would just push a multinational's agenda. He was the executive chairman of Brookings India and presently is the chairman and distinguished fellow at the Center for Social and Economic Progress. He serves as a non-executive independent director on several company boards. He was a member of the Board of Governors of the Pandit Deen Dayal University of Petroleum. Many of you would have known from his columns in Indian Express and Financial Express, but he's a regular and reputed columnist. And his focus of his articles has been on oil, natural gas, and energy. He also writes on varied topics covering sustainability, climate change, agenda for development, and governance. Believe me, he always conveys a crystal clear view, which could sometimes be debated, but can never be ignored. As a constant seeker of knowledge, I understand Vikram maintains not one, but 3 libraries, 3 personal libraries. One each in Delhi, Mumbai, and Udaipur. Vikram says his interest in reading is less about books on business and more about economic and political history, religion, and philosophy. Vikram, my search on the net led me to a reference to Tasneem in an interview, having responded to a question about you. And she said that she was charmed by your Oxford accent and your disarming intellectual air. Vikram, I wish Tasneem was present here so that I could have confirmed this quote directly with her. However, friends, I must mention that when I checked with Vikram, he did not deny it. I must mention Vikram's books. He's one of the editors of the book Anchoring Change, covering 75 years of grassroots intervention that made a difference. He's also the editor of the book The Next Stop, Natural Gas and India's Journey to a Clean Energy Future, a comprehensive volume which spans global and national dimensions. I could have quoted from this book and also from Vikram's several articles about his thoughts on energy, sustainability, and climate change. But that would have meant preempting a part of his speech today. When I met him 2 weeks ago, he showed me some beautiful photographs of his home in the lap of Kumaon Hills with a beautiful view of the Himalayas. He said that during his retreat in Windsor Sanctuary, he put flesh and blood to his thoughts on what he is going to say today. I realize that I have mainly emphasized and underlined Vikram's credential to speak on energy, and only passingly referred to many other aspects of his multifaceted personality. That is just due to paucity of time. Vikram, we now look forward to an intellectual treat in your Oxford accent as we await your talk on energy Atmanirbharta, meeting emergent challenges.